Knot of Life by Janet Clayton. She was frazzled, frayed like old tapestry that had been left out in the sun and the rain for too long. What had the fates woven for her? It seemed that all the twisting of strings and the interwoven threads of others had made a cloth of little significance. Looking over the blanket of time, she glanced at the corner. Was it really just one thread that had moved through, darting this way and that way around others, pulling and tightening? Just one making this blanket? Did it look plain to her? Was the texture, color enough to call it beautiful? It served its purpose as blankets do. It was warm and big enough to cover her, but not as beautiful as others she had seen. But then how can one compare one blanket to another? There are so many, common, plain, yet useful. What did she expect? It was woven on a machine that determined what and where it would be placed, how it would be used. When blankets are judged, what is comfortable, what makes you feel safe is what matters. My favorite blankets are not flashy or expensive. They are useful and warm, of a certain weight that I can feel over me, the everyday blanket, the nightly cover. Within the blanket, interwoven loops stretched out like a landscape, each loop dependent on the previous one. Every layer presented itself as if it could be the last, yet there were many layers, and they had hardened into a position by the loops surrounding them. Now they were like stone, where before they were fiery, fresh with passion, filled with delightful change. Now they just lay dormant as I sleep upon the ground. Winter set in. She shivered as she pulled the thoughts up over her shoulders. Oh yes, I remember when that portion was knit. I know why that loop is different than the others, some smudge or droplet of whatever was going on at the time. It would not be long before this blanket was so tattered that it would be thrown away. Yet this comfort and warmth she felt seemed to be still useful to her. No one else would see it that way. It was garbage, old, worn. Soon a new, unknown comfort was going to take its place. This blanket would be forgotten, not because it wasn't useful, but because it was no longer accepted by anyone else who saw it. In that garbage, the strings would rot away to dust, and the blanket would be no more.